Israel and the West Bank. Here, in the midst of bloody conflict, Israelis and Palestinians who have lost loved ones are looking for a way to ease the suffering. They're fighting for peace together.
We're sticking to our message this year too. We just need to find the appropriate format in terms of content and participants. It won't be easy.
I'm so sorry for all the people who have lost their lives, on both sides. But the situation has changed, and it's become very difficult.
Can they find a path to dialogue and reconciliation despite terror and war? Beit Jala, in the occupied West Bank. Yaqub Rabi is driving to his office. He works for the Parent Circle Families Forum. Since 1998, the organisation has been bringing together Israeli and Palestinian families who have lost loved ones in the conflict. The goal is reconciliation. Yaqub Rabi's job is maintaining ties with the forum's Palestinian members. Since October 7th, 2023, 80 new members have joined, both Palestinian and Israeli. Yaqub Rabi became a member after his wife was killed in 2018 in an attack by an Israeli settler.
I was driving the car. Everything was peaceful. The Sabbath had already started, and settlers don't drive on the Sabbath. The streets were empty and quiet. That's why I felt safe. But they were just waiting until a Palestinian went by. It was my fate that I just happened to be going that way by chance. When I was right in front of them, they began to throw stones. One of the stones went through the windshield. It hit my wife right in the face and killed her. There are victims on both sides. My goal is to make it clear that both sides suffer. And if it doesn't happen in my lifetime, then I fought for my children and grandchildren.
Hod HaSharon in Israel. Anna Spruk also works for the Parent Circle Families Forum on the Israeli side. She maintains ties with the Israeli members. She started working there a few months before October 7th, 2023.
Yael will let you know when she's picking you up. We'll see each other at the meeting before the ceremony. When people ask me about my work, I do hold back. I'm not always sure if it will be received well. I try to protect myself. Especially now. I'm worried because I have a partner and a child. This isn't just about me.
Just like Yaqub Rabi, Anna Spruk joined the forum following a personal loss. Anna Spruk's mother was killed in 2002 in a Hamas terrorist attack on the Hebrew University in Jerusalem.
My father always said, "What a waste." And the question is, how many more lives will be wasted on both sides until it becomes clear to us that we have to create a different world? This all comes together on Memorial Day for the victims. Suddenly, the personal pain of each individual becomes public. You think, now they're taking part in my pain. But then they say, there's no other choice. We've got to live like this, always ready to fight. There's no other way. It wasn't until I was at the forum ceremony that I had the feeling there was a place where I can breathe, that there are more people who think like I do, whose goal it is to keep in mind that we need to call for something different, that we end the war and demand peace so there won't be even more deaths and loss. That makes it more bearable.
Each spring, the Israelis observe a national holiday, Yom HaZikaron, in memory of their fallen soldiers and those who have lost their lives to terror. Anna Spruk is preparing for another memorial ceremony. Organised by Combatants for Peace and the Parent Circle Families Forum, it is held on the eve of Remembrance Day every year. Here, Israelis and Palestinians mourn their dead together. This collective mourning of victims of the conflict has been harshly criticised. There have been threats and violence.
Being at the ceremony when extremists are demonstrating outside is scary.
Despite the criticism and violence in 2023, 15,000 people took part in the Israeli-Palestinian memorial ceremony in Tel Aviv. In 2024, due to security concerns, the event wasn't held live or in public. Instead, 200 participants attended the event, which was held in a secret location and recorded.
We already had a team meeting on the 8th of October. We discussed the situation and we didn't know what to do. All that was clear is that the cooperative work had to continue, now more than ever. You're always wrestling with a question, where is my limit? Someone can have a different opinion, but do I accept it? Does the other side continue to be my partner? Where's my red line? I ask myself that continually, but somehow this debate is also part of the dialogue. You have to face it.
Since the start of the war, Anna Spruck and Yakub Rabi have been unable to meet in person. Like most of the activities of the Parents Circle Families Forum, their meetings are limited to Zoom.
How are you doing over there?
The ceremony is being recorded today. Remember last week how we talked about lighting candles? For the Israelis and Palestinians too, I think that will be very moving.
Do you remember the last time we met in person? I think it was 2 months before the war. We haven't seen each other for 9 months, just on Zoom.
True.
I would like to meet in person.
Yes.
It's different on Zoom. But you know the situation for us is really difficult. If you want to go to Nablus these days, it's a big effort. Normally, it takes maybe half an hour to go there and back. But now I need around 8 hours to do it. The situation is really tough, not like it used to be. You know that I live in Bidya village. There are settlers all around me.
Yes, that's a tough area.
Like a prison. We hardly ever leave the village anymore.
Are you coming to Beit Jala for the ceremony next week?
I'll come to the office a day earlier, so I'll be on time. I can't go back on the same day, so I'll have to sleep here. I'll need to be away from home for 2 days to take part in the ceremony. I hope to see you there.
I hope so too.
Till then.
I hope so.
Anna Spruck and Yakub Rabi know how complex the Israeli-Palestinian dialogue is. In the last years, they've been trying to process their own losses. But what is dialogue like for people whose bereavement is more recent? Southern Israel. Ma'ayan and Mor Inon have recently joined the Parents Circle Families Forum. Their parents were killed in the Hamas terror attack on October 7th, 2023. They're driving to Nativ HaAsara, an Israeli moshav on the border with Gaza, to visit the remains of their parents' home.
There, that building.
That's Gaza.
Yes, that's Beit Hanun.
Hamas terrorists attacked Nativ HaAsara on October 7th, 2023. Bilha and Yaakov Inon's house burned to the ground.
Here's the back door. And this was the laundry room. A big dining room table, the living room. Everything was green and in bloom, full of life.
Although their parents' house was destroyed, Next door, their mother's studio remained untouched. Maayan and Mor Inon sort through the artworks. Aside from memories, these are all that is left for them.
It's crazy. Nothing's changed. These are the last things she made. The memories are bubbling up, as if they were still alive.
Jericho in the West Bank. Ahmed al-Helou has been a peace activist for years. He's committed himself to non-violent resistance. Parts of his family live in Gaza. He says that he has lost more than 60 relatives in Israeli attacks, and that he is afraid for the lives of his remaining family members. Ahmed al-Helou is in constant contact with his nieces and nephews in Gaza.
How are you?
Okay, thanks. But everything is under fire and destroyed. Do you remember how we took part in Combatants for Peace events?
Yes.
We were on a completely different path back then. What we really wanted was peace and coexistence.
We still believe in it. The question is, do they?
Ahmed al-Helou says he joined Hamas as a young adult at the start of the 1990s. He threw stones. This information can't be confirmed. He spent several months in Israeli prisons and went through a prisoner's non-violent hunger strike. After his release, he left Hamas. Since then, he has been working to promote non-violent resistance.
Once I understood there was another way to reach our goal, I cut my ties to Hamas. I built myself a new life. New friends, new ways of thinking, a new culture.
Today, Ahmed al-Helou is a member of Combatants for Peace. The group works towards a peaceful resolution of the Mideast conflict.
When I became active, I had lots of trouble in Jericho. And I lost friends. One of my relatives told me, "Ahmed, when I see you, I'll kill you."
Ahmed al-Helou is watching a video of his family in Gaza.
This war is a big breach. It's difficult to speak of cooperative, non-violent struggle and see images from Gaza at the same time, with all those killed. We're in a very difficult situation. So we're trying to find a way that people can accept.
Back in Israel, in the Tiv HaAzara, Maayan and Mor Inon are in their old backyard. The once blooming garden is slowly withering. The sisters are trying to process losing their parents while seeking a way towards reconciliation, in spite of their grief and fear.
After October 7th, at first, I wasn't in a place where I could use words like peace. Then I heard of the forum and took part in some of its activities. I understood then that there is a path to reconciliation. It's already there. It doesn't need to be invented.
I think it has an effect when you do good and treat people you meet like human beings. If you believe in nonviolence and reconciliation, you can transmit that to other people.
The frustrating thing about it is that without these extremist governments, many people could simply coexist.
In the West Bank, in Beit Jala, Ahmed al-Halou is at the office of the Combatants for Peace organization. He has been invited to speak about his losses for this year's joint Israeli-Palestinian memorial ceremony. He accepted the invitation, although it was difficult for him. Because the Israeli authorities denied them entry, Ahmed al-Halou and other Palestinian participants had to pre-record their speeches.
My name is Ahmed al-Halou and I'm 52 years old. I have 4 sons and I live in Jericho.
You should practice the speech beforehand.
Read it through first.
Sit down and then we'll start.
The speech was hard for me. In it, I tell my and my family's story. It's not easy to talk about their pain. Their pain is my pain. We lost more than 60 people in our family through the war in 2024. That's caused great pain and sorrow. It's the same with my sister. Before the 7th of October, we tried to get her over here for medical treatment. She's got something with her brain. I don't know exactly what. There is no treatment for her in Gaza. That's why we tried to get her here. Then the war started and nothing worked anymore. We know that she's going to die.
Hod HaSharon in Israel. It's recording day for the Israeli-Palestinian memorial ceremony. Anna Spruck needs to ensure the invitees arrive punctually. The secret location's address was only released a few hours ahead of time.
You should park outside. I'm going to send a message to everyone right now. I'm really wound up about this evening. I'm not finding it easy to accept all the event's messages. That's the beautiful, but also the difficult thing about the forum, that there are many different voices. We're sticking to our message this year too. We just need to find the appropriate format in terms of content and participants. That won't be easy. Bila Inon? Where is Yaakov Inon? There.
Anna Spruck is preparing for the ceremony in which members of the Parent Circle Families Forum light candles in memory of the dead. They'll also light candles for the Palestinian dead, because those bereaved family members could not attend the event in person. In Aviel, Israel, Maayan Inon is setting off to her sisters. They're taking part in the recording of the ceremony together.
There are still hostages in Gaza. The war is still going on. People are dying every day, here and there. I don't know what will happen. I only know meetings like this are emotionally loaded and very sensitive. During them, the pain rises up again. That's still very fresh for me, but I feel ready. May I give you a hug?
Sure.
Maayan and Mor Inon light 2 candles for their parents and 2 for relatives of Palestinian members of Parent Circle Families Forum.
Hello to all of you. A cordial welcome to the 19th Israeli-Palestinian Memorial Ceremony. Today we stand here in an impossible reality, in spite of all the barriers and difficulties. Our hearts are full of never-ending pain. We are in a spiral of a horrible war, in continuous fear of an escalation.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. كما الحال مع عائلتي.
Just like my family, my wife's family lived in Gaza and lives there to this day, amid the indescribable destruction. My family and my wife's family lived through nights of terror. Since the start of the war, they've suffered disease and hunger. There is no safe place in Gaza. The streets are full of smells. The stench of death is everywhere. Personally, I understand the fear and pain of the Israelis after the 7th of October, but is the killing of tens of thousands of people, letting them starve, spreading fear and terror and causing indescribable suffering, is that something that will guarantee the Israeli security and peace? Despite all of these injustices, I say to you, we must stand strong against terrorism, against violence, against the harming of innocents and the bloodshed on both sides.
In a dialogue, it's important both sides are heard. That can be difficult for those who have lost a loved one recently. The Palestinian speeches at the memorial ceremony have triggered ambivalent feelings in Ma'ayan Inon.
What stories? It's so terribly hard. They're talking about suffering, and I'd like to say to them, that's your problem. Your fault. Your problem. You caused this, so now you have to pay for it. But another voice in me says, what's the price for all that, on both sides? Then you get to the point where you say, enough. I've got to break the cycle and say, enough. Yet at the same time, I ask myself whether that's even possible. Because there are so many people who aren't ready for it at all. All these thoughts, while someone's talking about the horrible pain and loss he's suffered.
I gave my wife this car as a gift on our wedding day. That's why I could never give it away. Otherwise, I'd get another car every year. But this car is staying.
4 days after the recording of the memorial ceremony in Israel, Yaqub Rabi, Ahmed Al-Halou and other members of both organisations are meeting in Beit Jala in the West Bank to watch the broadcast of the ceremony together.
How are you?
Good.
Where are you living?
In Jericho.
We haven't seen each other for months.
How can you get anywhere?
But we can see each other. What's that?
Well, I'm working out to escape from reality. It works like therapy for me.
Despite great fears and tension caused by the ongoing war, the memorial ceremony took place without incident in 2024. For Israelis, Palestinians and people all over the world, a sign that dialogue and rapprochement are possible even at the most difficult of times.
We must create a secure future for our children, without fear of tomorrow, without fear that what we're building for coming generations will be destroyed again. We're committed to continuing in the firm conviction that it's the only way to save my parents, my sisters, and my nephews from death. And if I save one person from death, I protect my country, plant a tree, and build a future.
Back in Israel, at the Ma'ayan Tzvi kibbutz, Ma'ayan Inon was invited to speak to a group of students. It was an opportunity for her to share her impressions of the joint memorial ceremony.
The desire for revenge has led to all our powers being devoted to war. But I'm asking myself, is that the right way? Fighting and taking revenge? My answer is no. Because we all live here and nobody's going anyplace else. The Arabs aren't going to disappear. The situation is complicated because there are differing opinions on both the Israeli and Palestinian sides. The position I represent in the name of my parents is we're all people, and we need to find a way together. We don't necessarily have to be friends, but we must show each other respect. I see that as my job during these times.
Are you afraid to forget your parents, their faces, how they smelled?
I can remember the last time we hugged. I feel this hug. It's almost as if I'm actually being touched. It pains me. They can't do this anymore. It still all feels very close. But I think it will fade away with time. The central question is if we can still trust people after we've experienced such horror. They ask themselves the same things, given what's happening to them daily. That's why we have to be brave and confident. We don't have another choice.